Sexual drive in Ghana. 4 reasons why their virginity rate is low. When you hear of Ghana, you might instantly think of its rich traditions, colorful festivals, or booming Afrobeat culture. But underneath the surface of this socially vibrant and religiously rooted nation lies a bold and often unspoken reality: a rising sexual drive among the youth and a shockingly low rate of virginity. This is not just a moral issue, nor is it purely a religious concern. It's a reflection of deeper societal shifts, technological exposure, urban influence, and cultural evolution. Today on Africa Tribal, we're diving into one of the most provocative and eye-opening social trends in West Africa. Why is Ghana's virginity rate so low, and what's driving this high sexual appetite among its people? Let's break it down and take a closer look at 4 powerful reasons behind this shift, and how they're reshaping the values, expectations, and realities of Ghanaian youth today. 1. The power of media and social influence. Ghana has experienced a rapid transformation in media consumption over the past decade. With access to smartphones, affordable internet, and a growing social media presence, young Ghanaians are now more exposed than ever to global content, especially sexualized entertainment. Platforms like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter have become gateways to a world where sexual expression is glamorized, normalized, and even monetized. From viral dance challenges that border on eroticism to suggestive music videos and influencer lifestyles, the boundaries of modesty and tradition are being challenged daily. Accra, the nation's capital, is at the forefront of this exposure. You walk through Osu or East Legon at night, and you'll see how modern nightlife, clubs, and lounges have created a liberal space where sexuality is no longer something hidden or taboo. It's a form of identity. For many young people, virginity is seen as outdated or even undesirable. The idea of exploring yourself is glorified, and the pressure to fit in with the global youth culture often outweighs the values taught at home or in church. Even Ghanaian music has evolved. Songs by artists like Kwesi Arthur, Wendy Shea, and Shadowell frequently touch on sexual themes, subtly reinforcing the idea that sexual activity is both expected and celebrated. This media-driven normalization has deeply affected how youth perceive relationships, intimacy, and even self-worth. 2. Weakening traditional and religious structures. Historically, Ghanaian culture placed strong emphasis on chastity, especially among women. Families upheld strict values around premarital sex, and virginity was seen as a source of pride, honor, and dignity. The church and traditional elders played a strong role in shaping these beliefs, but today those traditional guardrails are weakening. Many young people no longer live under the daily authority of parents or extended family. Urban migration, boarding schools, and university life offer a sense of independence. And with that independence comes experimentation. The religious structure is also facing challenges. Though Ghana remains predominantly Christian and Islamic, the personal interpretation of religious doctrine is becoming more flexible. You'll find youth who attend church on Sunday and still party at clubs on Saturday. There's a growing separation between spiritual identity and sexual behavior. This dual lifestyle is especially common in cities like Kumasi, Tema, and Cape Coast, where young people feel they can balance modern freedom with religious affiliation. Virginity is no longer a requirement for being seen as morally upright. In fact, in many circles, it's simply irrelevant. Church leaders and religious institutions have found it increasingly difficult to influence young people on these issues. Conversations about sexuality are still awkward and often avoided in religious settings, creating a gap where misinformation and peer pressure thrive. 3. Peer pressure and the prestige of experience. Among Ghanaian youth, there is an unspoken but powerful pressure to not be left behind. Sexual experience is often equated with maturity, confidence, and even popularity. In many senior high schools and universities, students who are virgins are sometimes mocked or seen as naive. For boys, losing virginity is a rite of passage, a badge of honor. For girls, while the conversation is more complex, there's still a growing number who see sexual freedom as empowerment. This has created an environment where many young people engage in sex not necessarily out of desire, but out of pressure to belong, impress, or maintain relationships. In elite schools and campuses such as University of Ghana, KNUST, and even in SHS institutions like Wesley Girls or Akamoda School, there's a silent competition happening. It's not always vocal, but it's there, in conversations, jokes, and behaviors. Having a boyfriend or girlfriend has become a status symbol, and sexual activity often comes with that territory. Some students also use sex as a bargaining chip for grades, money, gifts, or attention. The sugar daddy and sugar mummy culture is growing, particularly in urban areas. This is not just about economic hardship, it's about social validation, lifestyle, and sometimes even survival. Changing attitudes toward female sexuality. Perhaps one of the most revolutionary shifts in Ghana's sexual landscape is the changing perception of female sexuality. In the past, women were expected to be modest, reserved, and passive. Virginity was a badge of respect. Today, many young Ghanaian women are reclaiming their bodies and choices. Movements advocating for female empowerment, bodily autonomy, and sexual rights have found space in urban Ghanaian culture. This doesn't mean promiscuity, but it does reflect a more liberal attitude towards sex and relationships. Sexuality is now seen as part of womanhood, not something to be hidden. From university girls to working-class women, many are redefining what it means to be confident, attractive, and in control of their lives. Online platforms, blogs, and YouTube channels created by Ghanaian women often touch on relationships, intimacy, and sexual freedom. These conversations were once taboo, but now they're generating massive followings. Women are educating each other about their bodies, their rights, and the importance of being honest about sexual needs and desires. While this is a sign of progress in many ways, it also contributes to the overall decline in virginity rates. There's less shame and more freedom, and with that freedom comes choice. Conclusion: a mirror of modern Ghana. The low virginity rate in Ghana is not just a statistic, it's a mirror of the country's evolving values, identity, and youth culture. It reflects the tug-of-war between tradition and modernity, between religious expectations and personal freedom, between cultural norms and global influence. It's important to recognize that this isn't purely a negative trend. It's a complex social evolution. While some lament the loss of traditional values, others see it as a sign of liberation and truth. But it also raises critical questions. Are Ghanaian youth truly free, or are they being driven by invisible pressures? Is this increased sexual drive leading to greater happiness or deeper emotional confusion? Are we having the right conversations at home, in schools, and in religious spaces? One thing is certain: Ghana is changing, and the conversation around sexuality is no longer one that can be ignored. It's time to address it, understand it, and guide it in a way that respects both freedom and responsibility. If you found this topic insightful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Africa Tribal. Let's keep exposing the untold stories of Africa, one truth at a time.